Hello everyone! Have you ever wondered why people think, feel, and behave the way they do? Why they feel nervous before a big presentation? Or why you can't resist checking your phones every 5 minutes?
That's psychology. Today, we'll explore what psychology really is, why it matters, and how it sharpens our everyday lives.
Psychology is not about reading minds or guessing people's secrets. It is the systematic, scientific study of behavior and mental processes.
You might have seen this size symbol and thought it looks like a trident or a devil's fart. But it's not. It actually comes from the first letter of the Greek word psyche, which means mind or soul. The symbol represents psychology's true goal, which is understand the human mind through asking serious questions and using research, not assumptions.
Now, let's talk about the major goals of psychology. First, describe, which is to observe and describe behavior as it naturally occurs. Example, a psychologist observes that students often feel nervous before giving a presentation. They record what happens, like sweaty palms, shaking hands, and avoiding eye contact. Second, explain, which is to understand and explain why behavior happens. Example, the psychologist discovers that students feel anxious because they fear being judged or making mistakes in front of others. Third, predict, which is to tell us how organisms will behave in a certain situation. Example, if a student feels nervous during a class presentation, the psychologist can predict they might feel the same anxiety before a job interview or public speech later on. Lastly, control, which applies psychological knowledge to guide change or improve behavior. Example, psychologist teaches relaxation and breathing techniques or helps the students practice speaking in small groups before presenting to the class.
There are also major branch of field of psychology. First is the clinical psychology. It focuses on assessing and training people with mental and emotional problems. Second, social psychology. It explores how individuals think, feel, and behave in social situations and how they are influenced by others. Third, developmental psychology. It examines how people grow and change throughout life, from infancy to adulthood. Fourth, experimental psychology. It conducts research to understand behavior and mental process. Fifth is the biological psychology. It explores the connections between the brain, nervous system, and behavior. Sixth, psychometrics. It involves measuring mental abilities, personality, traits, and behavior through tests and assessments. 7. Cognitive psychology. It investigates thinking, memory, problem-solving, and decision-making. Lastly, industrial or organizational psychology. It applies psychological principles to the workplace to improve productivity, employee satisfaction, and management practices.
But wait, there's more. Psychology isn't just about studying theories or doing experiments. It also helps us in our daily lives in ways we might not even realize. For example, understanding how attention works can help us focus better. Through selective attention, we can concentrate on important tasks like driving safely or listening in class. At the same time, selective attention helps us ignore distractions like constant messages or social media alerts. Psychology also helps us understand how memory works and how we can study more effectively. We can use techniques like mnemonics, which use patterns or phrases to remember information, and chunking, which breaks large amounts of information into smaller parts to make it easier to recall. Psychology also explains how our behavior can be shaped through learning. This is called operant conditioning, where rewards and consequences influence our actions. For example, praising a student for finishing homework encourages good study habits, while giving consequences for being late teaches the importance of being on time. And did you know, psychology also teaches us the importance of sleep. Getting enough sleep helps our bodies and minds recover, supports growth, and boosts mental functioning. It is not just rest, it's part of staying healthy and performing our best.
So, as we can see, psychology helps us understand our lives and others, make better decisions, improve relationships, and lead healthier, happier lives. It brings scientific knowledge and everyday life, showing that mind isn't a mystery, it's a powerful tool we can understand and improve.
So next time you wonder why someone behaves a certain way or why you do, remember, psychology has the answers. And that's all for today's video. I hope it inspires you to keep exploring the fascinating world of psychology.